Woohoo! Here we go, out of Gibraltar, through the Straits of Gibraltar and on our way to Lisbon. Crew of 3, very exciting. Ooh, got something that crops up though, and it could be serious. Here we go, we are leaving Gibraltar for Barbate, which is pretty cool. Yeah, just pull as hard as you can, do. Oh, that's it. Yeah, and it'll start going. So ideally we don't want this open, then people don't bloody fall in.
Let these go completely now, mate?
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. And then once we get going, see this here, we just pull that up on the back here and tie it, just leave it going. All right, we're out of here.
And I'll bring the fenders, I'll go around the boat, bring the fenders in.
Once we're on our way, yeah. Okay, here we go. It's a beautiful day. Look at it out there, just what we want to get going for the first time again. And we've got the radar on. And we are 36.5 nautical miles heading out of Gibraltar down to Barbate. Alright, so there's the end of the breakwater, Emily. You happy with the lights? So coming into port in Europe, you have green on starboard, red on port. So when you're leaving, you've got green on port and red on starboard. So I was saying to Peter yesterday, the biggest threat with these guys is bloody fishing line, is nets. Okay, so it looks like there's something just around the corner here too. See? There you go. So there's a big container ship and it looks like a refueling bunker ship. Alright, there's Gibraltar behind us and daylight just starting to arrive in the Straits, and Morocco on the other side. It's going to be a gorgeous day, I think. Pretty much just entering the Straits of Gibraltar now, a few ships going by out there. And those lights in the distance, if you can see them, or just to the right of that bit of high land, is Tangier in Morocco. Goodbye Mediterranean, my home for the last 7 months. Hello Atlantic, what are you going to bring for the next 7 months? Pretty good day for our first day though. And this is Tarifa Lighthouse, amazing lighthouse. Arguably construction started back in 1799 on top of a 1540 watchtower. Amazing, amazing lighthouse, lighting the Straits of Gibraltar. So that is what it's like in the Straits of Gibraltar. Flat calm, no wind, perfect. Could do this all day. We're going to have
all day and all night.
Yeah, well, just carry on, eh? Yeah. Go through the night. So that was almost opposite Gibraltar, that high bit of land there. Wow. You know, so you make progress, eh? You just quietly puddle away and...
Yep, there's the lighthouse of Tarifa there.
Yep. And there we go, that's what it's like where we're going. Alright, so we're making good progress. Still a beautiful day out there, look. It's looking south towards the African coast. And you can see on here, here's our track. We're just in heading hold at the moment. And we were going to Barbate here, but what we've looked at, I'll show you in a minute, we've got a good weather window. So we're thinking of carrying on through the night and heading right over here. So it's 146 miles away. To a place called Portim&atilde. And that's obviously a little bit over 24 hours. They take cruise boats in there, there's good shelter, it's deep water, and there's a marina there as well that we've sent a message to find out if they have availability. So we were looking at doing that, and if you check the weather here, so here is Straits of Gibraltar, and down here we've got Wednesday, which is today at 12:40. And right in the middle of the bay here, if we were to do the straight line through, it's 1.2 meters, and you see it's just a swell coming in from the west. If we move it on to midnight tonight, still at 1.2 meters, 1.2 meters, 1.2 meters, everywhere much the same. And 12 o'clock tomorrow, obviously more over there, 1.1. So you can just see a little bit of weather starting to move in from here. But we're just starting to think that with the weather the way it is, it's less than forecast at the moment, and we're perfectly happy with it. Let's make progress, get over to Portim&atilde, and then we're actually within 24 hours of Lisbon. So it's winter. Given the potential for weather, while we can make progress, we think we should. And if you have a look here at the wind, it's ECMWF is the database that's been used. It's generally accepted as a good one around here, has the most accurate data supposedly. 14 knots, and that's basically as much as it's supposed to get to the whole time. And if you look at the direction there, it's just coming onshore, so just a little bit of a westerly wind, a little bit of a westerly flow, but nothing there that's going to really upset us. So yeah, we've basically decided that's what we're going to do, and we've got that jump off point of Cadiz along the way if for any reason we're not happy. And also we will be getting past Faro, and we don't want to go into Faro because very sandy, people have touched the bottom in there. We just want to stick with, if we can, deep harbour ports. So yeah, that's our decision. As always, keeping things fluid so you can alter things if you want to. Just a quick look here. Here's the traffic separation scheme marked on the chart here for coming through the Straits of Gibraltar. We suggested to Gibraltar Harbour that we might like to use it, more than anything just to try it out and understand how it works, but it was pretty obvious from their reply they were keen for us to come along the inland route. So we are now outside of the Straits of Gibraltar, and we're going to head along to Portim&atilde. That's our decision. All three of us are happy. We'll start getting ready and we can start having rests. So you can see here, it's really interesting, that little radar return there is just on the other side of that shelf. I'll just zoom in a little bit. It will go in one more. The depth of the water gets down to 16, 18 meters, not much deeper around it, but the tidal turn has happened, and from quite a distance out, hopefully you can see it. We'll film it again as we go past, but there's the line. So assuming, without knowing everything about how tides, currents, etc. works, it must be a fairly sharp edge down there, and the tide is now coming in, which we know it is, and it's being pushed up and it's actually breaking the surface, and just a few little white caps there, even though there's absolutely no wind to speak of really. So that'll be a tidal current, I guess. And at the moment, quite a different swell to what we were getting in the Mediterranean. Mediterranean's short and choppy, effectively like what you're seeing ahead. But here we've got swells, I reckon, at least a metre, but they're about 8 or 10 seconds apart. So it's just a whole different movement you feel through the boat. Fishermen out there just beyond it. They must know something.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can see the bottom at all. I doubt it now. Anyway, there, hopefully you can see it all right. There it is there, quite a change. I mean, it's interesting because look, the depth hasn't really changed, Peter. It's still 24 metres.
The edge of it,
What it looks like on the sonar. Yeah, there you go. So that was it there. It was a bluff on that side, and the water's just hitting it here and coming up and breaking the surface. Sounds a bit different, wouldn't it?
The equivalent of mountain wave.
Yeah. Oh, look, if that was in the air, we'd just know all about it. You'd see it in the distance. We'd go, oh, you've seen that 100 times. Well, this is the first time I've seen that. So, very interesting. That was what caused it.
The weight of the ocean. You keep climbing mountains, too blind to see. It's not getting you closer to where you wanna be in your life. The weight on your shoulders, time to put it down. You fall and you break, you got battles to take on, but you figure it out, yeah.
Alright, as you know, the decision was made with the weather. Such a beautiful day, lovely forecast ahead, to continue on through the night and head over into Portugal. So here is our destination up there. 74 miles to run, basically 73.7. We're just heading up the southern, or across the southern coast of Spain into Portugal up here. Water temperature interesting, 18.5 degrees. Just after we left Gibraltar out in the Straits here, it was only 15.5. About an 8 knot wind coming in directly in a beam from the left, from the south, or south-southwest, at 90 degrees to our bearing, which is up here, 296 degrees. And we're in follow route. The autopilot's it's still not right, and we've got to get that work done, but they didn't turn up in Gibraltar, so we're just going to have to start the process over again to try and get somebody in to do it. But we'll get on to that. So we were in the heading hold a while ago, and it just started turning off to the left, and then we would parallel the track again, go to the left, parallel the track. So I've gone over into follow route. It seems to be doing it a little bit better, but it's still just not up to standard. The other thing is the radio over here. It's a Vespa Cortex. This is a handheld one. It's cordless, and continuously when we put it back in the cradle, here it is out, putting it back in, you just push it in and down, and we'll get a message any second. There we go, no power. Now it doesn't matter how many times you do that, the same thing happens time and time again. I've wiggled it, there we go, we now have power again, power's gone off, so we're going to get the message. And it's such a simple process. I mean, I'll show it during the day. You can't see it, but it's just, nothing's adjustable, and it's just a contact that's got to be made between the radio and the cradle. Here we are, no charge, so we're going to get that message. It wants to go to sleep again because it's not getting the battery recharged. Bit disappointing, really. They're kind of two of the outstanding issues. Just trying to get traction on them, and both products are Garmin. So yeah, I don't know what other people's experience out there is with Garmin, but mine's not very good so far. In here, ton of traffic around, not really moving though. A huge amount of boats over here just at anchor. These ones over here at anchor. This guy here is moving towards us, but he doesn't get close within 3 miles. And then your regular shipping over here that's been going in and out of the Straits of Gibraltar. So yeah, 12 o'clock in the morning, or 12 o'clock I should say, and we should arrive there at about 2 o'clock. That says 1 o'clock. because we've gone into international waters, and then the clock, when that happens, just goes back to GMT. So you can see there it's saying 11:16 at night, but it's actually 12:16 where we are. So there's the bigger picture. Gibraltar down here, coming across to Portim&atilde. We'll pop round the corner and up to Lisbon, and then up to Porto, Finisterre, and along the northern coastline of Spain, Santander, and then up the French coast. Once we get to Brest, the intention is to jump the channel to Falmouth. Summer along the southern English coastline. That's our plan. So there we go. We got off to about 70 or 80 degrees off track and heading hold before any right rudder went in to try and bring us back on. It's crazy. Got to get on top of this Garmin system. I mean, it really is crazy. You know, you've got the heading that we want out to the starboard there, and yet the rudder it was in was port. So clearly where the compass control unit is in the back of the boat, when the tail is flicking around, it's getting a false signal thinking it needs to go the opposite way to what it actually does. So I can manually put it in. There you go, just put a little bit of starboard rudder in, and that helps it on its way. And then it quietly goes over there and picks it up. But yeah, it's just not good enough. We've got to get that unit moved, but we can't do that because it's got to connect into the NMEA system around the boat, and I just don't think we should be doing that while items like that are still under warranty. So yep, we're going to have to put some pressure on somebody somewhere to get this solved, because it's not good enough. Anyway, good news is just 38.7 miles to go now. A couple of fishing boats up here, tracking them. Just coming along the Portuguese coast there. What time is it now? It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we have jumped an hour forward, so basically the same time as the UK now. So it's just a little bit choppy out there, as you will have seen. And from a tidal perspective, we're just going from low tide, it's about an hour and a half after low tide, with high tide at about 4:30. So not ideal from that point of view, but we know it's a deep water port. I'll just show you on here where we're going. So there is Portimão there, so in through this entrance, and then we're going to look at anchoring up here, but we'll have a bit of a check out of that on the way past. But as you can see, it's quite a large river that feeds into it, so effectively we've got a bit of river against tide. There's a boat ahead of us, so he looks like he's heading into port, so basically we're going to follow him, and that'll give us that little bit of extra confidence. There is a marina here, the Portimão marina. Really good reports about that, so if for any reason we're not happy about anchoring, then we can always go in there for the night. And then tomorrow we're going to head across the bay past Lagos and out to the western tip of Portugal, where we hang a right and head up towards Lisbon. But I'll try and record as much of arriving in Portimão as I can. It's been interesting because this really does feel like a new part of the adventure's starting again, and if I'm honest, a little bit nervous about the weather. It's winter now. We've got the Atlantic Ocean coming in. I'm just going to have to take my time. I've got to take my time. It's going to be really careful. A lot of you have come in and actually said, hey, you sure you want to do this? Be careful. So look, I will be careful, and I'm checking out all along the way sort of safe haven harbours. And I know we did a long trip down here. It's sort of a day and a half through the night. I don't really want to do too much nighttime because there's a lot of buoys around, huge number of cray pot lines and things like that, so we don't want to hook something up on the boat at night. So if we do go at night, we're going to go way offshore, but the goal is to try and go just during the day. But once you get up towards 50 nautical miles, you need all the daylight. And if you need all the daylight, you can't always tie it in with the tides that you want as well. So, you know, I'm going to talk to people where we are. I've got the tide charts, I've got the maps. Yeah, it's an interesting part of the journey, this, and it's a time to grow some more experience, build my knowledge, and overcome, you know, a little bit of nervousness. I have to confess to that. But anyway, here we are. We're going into Portim&atilde. It's been a fantastic 36 hours, and we're having roast pork tonight, so you can't knock that. We'll go out and re-provision, and tomorrow's another day. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Alright, so as always, we now need to do the polite thing and put the Portuguese flag up. The big thing is making sure you put the flag the right way up and you don't offend them.
I was just looking at that. That way.
So we'll need the Spanish flag again for when we
go across the northern coast.
Go across the northern coast. You got that one? Yeah. Here we go. We have the Portuguese flag. Cut those little flipper flappers off. Follow me up with the camera. Got to capture the flag going up, Pete.
I hope I'm seeing you here. I can't see.
Will. Yeah, if you just point it at me, it'll be there. Somebody did suggest that we cut a flap
through the.
Should be able to see it from the boat deck.
Yes.
Hey, welcome to Portugal. How cool's that?
Great.
Sailors?
Oh, it's a cafe.
Oh, are we going to go to a cafe?
Cafe, maybe for a cerveza, por favor.
Ah. So here we are, that's where we're anchored, and the guy beside us was on the mud. The tide's coming in. Now he's starting to float.
You can ask the locals where the best supermarket is.
Yeah, we could actually ask this guy if he knows where a supermarket is, eh? That's a good idea, Pete. I'm kind of hoping we're going to walk in here somewhere and it's going to say Belts Are Us or John Deere Dealer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Where's that, buddy? Oh, yeah. Look at this wooden one over here, immediately out to your side.
Oh, yeah.
Bow on.
Wow.
I find the ports really cool. You know, there's just all sorts of different things, and so here we are in Portugal using a self-serve supermarket machine. So do we do it in French or English, Emily?
In English?
Oh, you've done it in English, not French. Oh.
I don't think I'll start packing because that upsets the machine.
I know. They shouldn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I think you can go.
Oh, yeah, we do that. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll do that like, there you go, fruits.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Select an item from the available
Oranges.
options.
Yeah.
Place the item on the scale.
Oh, we did on it.
Please bag it, yeah.
On the bagging area.
Mission accomplished, eh? We have our shopping. Now we're going to go and see if there's anybody wants to take a young damsel to the Caribbean. Or to the Canary Islands.
Caribbean.
Oh, Caribbean, okay.
Or Pacific directly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Panama, anywhere.
French Polynesia
Ah.
directly.
I think we can take it these guys had a successful fishing day.
I reckon.
It's the Welcome Home Brigade.
Yeah.
Straight, is it going back or just straight down? Okay, so we can just put those power thrusters on. Right, you hear how it's labouring a little bit? So is it ahead of us now, is it? Emily, is it straight down or ahead?
Yeah, straight away.
In front?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's so at the moment the windlass is trying to pull it in.
It's going that way.
Oh, okay.
Behind it.
Okay, righto. So did you hear how it got a bit harder? And that's because it's trying to pull it out of the mud. So is it down now? So we're just going to put the winch in and tighten it a wee bit because it's the clutch is spinning because it's not quite tight enough. Probably just quarter of a turn, Pete.
Clockwise?
Yep. Bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more. Okay, let's try that.
Just got some crap here, Mark. I'll get rid of it before the...
Oh, good lad.
Okay.
When that first happened with Fiona and I, we had no idea what to do with that winch.
Oh, yeah. Right, you got crap on the inner edge. So
Okay, how far under the water is it?
you've got half the anchor of the head of the anchor above water. Bit more, that's it. It's all under water now. It's stuck pretty good. Oh, no, it's going now.
Yeah, it always does.
Okay, it's come off.
Okay, and then we just put the plate back over it, and you want to try and get it as horizontal as possible.
Yeah, it was like a plastic netting, you know, that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and in harbours there's all sorts of stuff, eh? Okay, so Friday the 20th of December, and you'll have seen us departing Portim&atilde. Absolutely beautiful anchorage, and I would stay there again in a heartbeat. I'd be quite happy to spend a month there in the winter. Looks fantastic. Today, just a 4-hour trip. We're going right up to the Cape here at Ponta dos Cominhos, and there's a lovely little anchorage in there that's showing 95% for tonight. So that's going to be our goal. If for any reason we're not happy, we've got enough time if necessary to come all the way back to Portim&atilde, and I'm happy to go in there at night. What we're trying to do is set ourselves up to head up the western coastline of Portugal, eventually to Lisbon, but we're going to stop on the way at Sines, S-I-N-E-S, and there's a good harbour there as well. So yep, up to the Cape, be a little bit exposed there, might be a little bit rolly tonight, and then hopefully by Sunday we will be in Lisbon. You can see the really heavy traffic system here out to the southwest of us for shipping coming into the Straits of Gibraltar. So as usual, when you leave a little bit later in the morning, when it was about 10:30, you've lost that beautiful smooth sailing time of the day. So now the wind just starting to pick up a little bit. It's getting up around 10 or 11 knots from the northwest. It's supposed to peak out at about 15 or 16, so no issue. And at this stage, we've got 17.1 miles to run. We're going along at 5.3 knots, and we should get there at 2:43 this afternoon. So yeah, it's quite adventuresome for us, because what we're trying to do is just push a little bit into more swell. So the forecast for today is up to 1.7. Now that would be the maximum that Fiona and I would have been happy with in the Med, because then you can get up to 3.4 metres, which is a bit much. Not particularly happy in that unless you absolutely have to. But the difference is out here, the period of the swell is 9 seconds. In the Med it was 3.5 seconds. So I'm really keen just to go into that kind of sea condition to see how it feels, and then from that hopefully develop with what am I happy to go in now. And a lot of it obviously depends on the wind as well. So if we've got swells coming in and a lot of wind blowing in the opposite direction, even with it for that matter, that's going to change the sea state as well. So you're just going into the next learning phase, and you can see out here already today it's just picking up a little bit, just getting a little bit choppier. It's still fine, but yeah, it's good, feeling good about it. And look, we're making progress. So pretty sure I've got to be out of the northern coastline of Spain by the 2nd of January. So I'm not going to let that dictate me. If necessary, I'll park the boat somewhere and fly out of the country rather than push my luck. But if we can make it by then we can ask for our bilateral agreement on the French coast and hopefully get another 3 months, and then watch things slow down. Then I'm going to really enjoy just sitting in places, who knows, maybe for a week, and no laughing. I mean it, I will. Anyway, here we go. Okay, here we are coming into Ballyera. And what we're going to do is have a look in behind this breakwater here, because it's got some good reports, but then apparently there are some challenges as well. You'll notice on this northern corner all those rocks, and it said they kind of continue down into the bay. So idea is to anchor a little bit over this side, but there's some talk about mooring buoys in there as well, so we'll check that out. And if we're not happy with that, Navali's given that a 94. If we're not happy with that, we'll pop around, and we see there's already somebody in there, which is good. We'll have a look at who that is. But that bay is showing a 96 for tonight, and Sunday. But out there, the forecast was for slightly less wind than this and for bigger seas, but then we are quite close in and sheltered by the land. So at the end of the day, I think we're all pretty happy with how that's played out. And tomorrow and the next day doesn't really look like it's any worse close into shore. Out off the coast it is worse, but we'll check that out tonight. So look. Okay, well this place isn't for us. It's a bit busy and a lot of obstacles, and the buoys are way in, so we don't even know if we can take them. So we're going to go around to the next bay. So I'll head out of here. Yeah, right, mate, we'll turn around.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I'm going to windsurf a guy here, so I was just going to go.
You don't want to run him in? Oh.
No. They're on. They're on the board. They're
Go
moving.
around,
They possibly can't see us.
I know, I'm
'cause they're
coming
on
around to the
side of
left, mate.
sail. They're coming our way. Yeah, they haven't seen us.
You probably knew we were there.
Yeah. Okay.
You knew we had to get out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. They're going away from us now.
Right, so we are going to head around out of the harbour and up round by this other yacht up there. It's about a 70-foot yacht. So
it's a fishing trimaran, unless they see the hull stomach.
Yeah.
That's well. Oh, that was the Takata, so this one's a try. Wow.
I reckon we go and park between the two of them.
I reckon it's close to the beach.
Close to, yeah, because there's a bit of a surf onto the beach, so we don't want to go too close, but and we're going to lose about up to 2 metres of water, aren't we?
With that big
Mate,
one
I'll bring the drone over here, it'd be great. Why would you jump? It's 17.5 degrees, Pete.
It's not actually as cold as it seems, but there is quite a current there, so
Is there? Going that way.
yeah.
So that's obviously the tide going out, eh?
Yeah.
Oh well, good boy. Some visitors coming to see us, maybe. Howdy! What are you doing, Emily?
Puzzle.
First or second time?
Second time.
Why are you doing it the second time?
Because I did it first on the top outside. And it was too windy.
And it blew it off and destroyed it.
Yeah, completely.
What are you doing, Pete?
Checking my messages on my iPad, seeing what's going on around the world.
What'd you do before though?
Before that, goodness gracious, I did some Sudokus.
No, you prepped the veggies.
Oh, that was important stuff.
For dinner?
Yeah. Oh, that was so long ago I'd forgotten.
Oh, okay. We met this neat group of young people. They just came across in their tender with a doggy, and they're in the very small yacht parked beside us, and they're heading off to the Caribbean. And one of the little young ladies on the boat just looked so cold, and they wanted a shower. And we offered them to have a shower on Awanui NZ, but I think it was a bit much for them, and they decided to head into the shore anyway. But it's dark now. Whether they got a hot shower, I don't know. But gosh, what do you think of the size of that boat for going all the way to the Caribbean?
What?
Their boat,
With that one?
but small.
Couldn't do it.
You couldn't, or you wouldn't feel.
Well, if I feel good, yes. If I feel sick,
Yeah,
complicado.
very small boat. But anyway, good on them. They're off on their adventure. So bangers and mash tonight. We all know that's my favourite. Okay, here at Praia da Marita, through the night we ended up with a really sloppy sea. The wind died completely off, and when the wind dies off, we always get the boat sitting side on to any swell coming in, and there's a reasonable amount of swell coming in to the bay, so pretty uncomfortable night. So we decided to get going a little bit early. Got a total of 60 miles to go. And we're going very slow at the moment, so it doesn't want to do the maths and work out when we're going to get there. But we'll sort that out shortly. Weather's much the same as we saw advertised yesterday, so up to 2 metre swells, but 7 or 8 second period, so it should be the first time we see that. Get rid of the anchor drag, go off. Fishing boat going out, very little one at that, it's always a good sign. And there's our track up the coast to a place called Sines, apparently, but more on that later. So we're now starting to head north up towards our goal of Lisbon.
Got a banana or something, Mark?
Oh yeah, have you got some there?
I got one, I can go get some more.
Oh, okay. Just be careful, eh, Pete?
Yeah, no, I am.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Hands on.
Yeah, have we got bread there or not?
What's that?
Have we got bread as well? Or?
Yeah, Emily's got the bread. There's not much
Is there
bread
much or
left.
not?
We
Oh no,
ate
you
it.
guys have it.
No, you can have it. We can be.
Yeah, banana will be. No rush though.
There's a banana to start with.
What's that?
That's the banana.
Oh, that's the. What
What do you think it was?
No, it didn't feel like bread. The best way to get rid of big waves over the bow is to try and film them. I don't know how many times I've sat here for 5 minutes waiting to get a good shot. Right people, well I'm afraid we have some breaking news. We're currently making our way up the western coastline, or the western Atlantic coastline of Portugal towards Lisbon tonight. For those that want to have a look, we're going to be in Sines, S-I-N-E-S, and it's been quite a lumpy day. You can probably see out there through the window behind me. Up to 2 metre swells. We've had all of those, especially going around the Cape at the bottom of the landmass here, and we've got about another 2 or 3 hours to run into Sines. Anyway, the news is I have learnt today that as of today I have run out of Schengen time, and I'm so angry with myself. It's a responsibility. I should have taken responsibility for it. It's Schengen for me, and Fiona had the Schengen app, which obviously when we were together we were keeping an eye on, and it was in the back of my mind, and I had the date of the 2nd of January, but as of today I've run out, and I've worked out why that's happened. And the reason is that when I was going to Gibraltar initially, I was going to stay in Gibraltar, and it was about 40 odd euros a day on the Gibraltar side and 23 euros on the Spanish side. So I decided to stay on the Spanish side, and I think this is my thought pattern, if I was there for 5 days it still left me another 7, and that would help carry me through towards the 2nd of January. And of course what happened is my stay got extended from 5 to 12, and main reason for that was I just wasn't going to be pushed in the weather. So I don't know what the ramifications of it is going to be. I've done some research. Some websites say that hey, you can have an extra 3 months in each of the countries I'm going to be in, Portugal, Spain and France, over and above the Schengen. Other places, well, if this is the case, if they say no, the answer is no, so I don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to Lisbon, and I'm just going to have to go and see the police, because that's who deals with it. Come clean, explain what's happened, ask if I can have the bilateral, and if I can, then that gives me 3 months in Portugal, so I'm probably going to spend some time here. I do get some more days on the 10th of January, so I'll have to stay in Portugal till then, and on the 10th of January I get another 10 days, and that would get me to France. But then the question is, of course, when I get there, do they recognise the bilateral, in which case I'll have to head for the UK. But yeah, really dumb rookie mistake. But anyway, there is nothing we can do about it now. Worst comes to the worst, Pete and Emily are going to bring me Christmas dinner in jail. New experience for Mark. Very disappointing. Never mind, we move on. If only at 6 knots. Thought you'd all like to know. Merry Christmas.